Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today we're going to be upgrading my brother's gaming PC. If you remember, just a few months ago we did his first ever PC build here on the channel that he helped me out with, doing the actual build for that PC, that we had the FX 8320E in there, as well as the GTX 950, and I'd even left the AMD stock cooler on there at that time because I was planning to upgrade it later on, which I never actually got around to. So today we're going to actually be taking that build and transplanting it over into the Deepcool Genome case, which conveniently comes with a 360mm radiator, an absolutely monster water cooler for his FX 8320E. So we will see what kind of additional overclocking headroom we can get on that, because we were running the FX 8320E at about 4.3 gigahertz, but that would top out at 62 degrees Celsius, which is really as warm as you want this particular processor to get. This was my first time ever building inside the Deepcool Genome case, and I would say that it was a very pleasant experience as far as the layout was concerned, with having the good grommeted cutouts to be able to keep the build looking clean AF, and you guys can let me know down in the comments below if this build is indeed looking clean AF. On the backside, there were plenty of cable tie-down points, actually more cable tie-down points than I could ever possibly imagine needing, so we were able to keep the backside really tidy on this particular case, even though we were using cable extenders. I got some cable extenders from over at Cable Mod, since we were using a semi-modular Fractal Design Edison PSU. It's a 750 watt model, which is semi-modular, so it's got like the, you know, the ugly ketchup and mustard cables for like the 24-pin power connector, and moving it over to this beautiful case, I didn't want that kind of stuff showing through, so Cable Mod went ahead and hooked us up with some of their sleeved extensions for this build. We went with a black and green theme. My brother went onto their customizer over there, which you can go ahead and pick like the different length as well as the color layout that you want to get on your cables, and these are the paracord ones. Recently I had done a couple of build videos where we used the nylon mesh cables. Well, these are actually on the paracord, so it's a lot softer, it's a lot easier to work with. They tend to not look as vibrant on camera, but I still think they look really good, and they are a lot easier to work with in my personal opinion now that I have used both different types of cable from Cable Mod, the Mod Mesh as well as the Mod Flex. I did have one complaint about the Deepcool Genome case. While everything inside was, you know, super convenient for the layout and all of that, my only real complaint was the lighting for the pump and reservoir. I would have liked for these areas to have a solid illumination where you could really see, you know, the fluid going through that green helix at the front of the case. I think that would have made it really pop if we could just see those green, you know, accents just kind of, you know, illuminating throughout the build. I think it would have made it look a lot nicer. We did go ahead and upgrade his storage as well. We put a 4 terabyte HTST hard drive in here because he's actually been recording gameplay and editing videos on Sony Vegas. So just, you know, in the past few months, switching over from console to the PC, he's already started a YouTube channel, and, you know, he's messing around with video editing and Photoshop and stuff. So he's been learning a lot on the PC, not just how to play games on the PC. And we did upgrade his graphics card in here as well to the GTX 980 Ti. He did have the GTX 950 previously, but I had this 980 Ti sitting around, so I figured we'd go ahead and throw it in the build for him, since he is gaming on a 1080p 144Hz monitor, and we wanted to get him as many frames as possible in order to keep his games running buttery smooth. And there had been some games that came up recently, like Sleeping Dogs and I believe Sniper Elite, that he had been playing, and the frames had been dropping below 60 FPS sometimes, so we went ahead and just threw in the 980 Ti and went balls to the wall, and now he is definitely getting a lot of frames in all of those games. He's not struggling with anything at 1080p. I mentioned those sleeved cables from Cable Mod. We actually even got a sleeved power cable to match this build. This is something pretty new that they're doing over at Cable Mod, so I wanted to get one and, you know, try it out and see what it's all about. It is a really nice power cable. I'll say that it's plenty long, certainly. I don't know if it's really necessary to have a sleeved power cable, but that's kind of why I like it. I like it just because of how unnecessary it is. It's just one of those, you know, little things that you could do at the end of a build to kind of tie it all together to the theme, which obviously here it's a black and green theme, so yeah, I think it looks good. So one of the things most requested on that last build video that I did with my brother was to get his feedback on the switch from going from the console over to the PC. And at the time during that video, I didn't think he had enough time under his belt to kind of do that. But now that he's been on it for a few months, he certainly has. He's been gaming on the PC every single day, editing videos using Photoshop. So I wanted to get his feedback for you guys since you asked for it, and see what it was like for him now 3 months out, converting from the console over to the PC.
The most difficult thing about switching over to PC gaming for me from console gaming was probably making more friends on PC, because on console I had a lot of friends, and on PC, since there's like older games that I'm playing right now, there wasn't a lot of people in game chat, and on console for some reason people were playing older games, but on PC it seems like people are playing more of the new games. The best thing about switching over to PC from console was that the graphics are much better, and now I can like make videos for my YouTube channel, and I've gotten really into editing from on Sony Vegas and Photoshop. It was a challenge at first from switching over to mouse and keyboard from a controller, but it took me a day to get used to, and now I'm much better at mouse and keyboard gaming now. So one day, when I went on my PC, my mouse was really weird, and I asked my brother about it, and he came to fix it, and he said it was because my monitor was only on 60 hertz, and so that's how I can notice it, because I usually put my monitor on 144 hertz, so now I can notice it if it's faster or slower.
So there you have it, guys. My brother is absolutely ecstatic with the PC build. It came out amazing. Love the way this build looks in the Deepcool Genome case with the sleeved cables in there. And now that he's got that 980 Ti in there, he's rocking out the frame rates at 1080p, 144 hertz, no question about it. Now, I did mention the CPU, the FX8320. We were actually able to get a better overclock on that. I mentioned previously we were at 4.3 gigahertz, and that was maxing it out at 62 degrees Celsius. But now, thankfully to the Deepcool Genome with that 360 millimeter water cooler, we were able to bump up his FX8320E to 4.6 gigahertz, and now it is staying under 30 degrees Celsius when I was running IDA 64 at completely maxed out. So I had the CPU pinned to 100% in IDA 64, and it was staying under 30 degrees Celsius, mostly around about 25 degrees, which is insanely cool, seeing this FX8320E able to stay down there below 30 degrees Celsius. And in the future, we are going to be upgrading him again. We are waiting for Zen to come out, since he is doing video editing now, and that can certainly be intensive on the CPU and the memory. So in the future, once Zen is available, we are going to look to upgrade him over to an AM4 motherboard with a Zen processor and DDR4 memory. But that's, probably still going to be quite a few months out until AMD decides to go ahead and release those processors. So until then, he'll be using the FX8320E along with that GTX 980 Ti. So I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and if there's maybe anything you'd like to see more with this build, if maybe you want to do full benchmarking runs and all of that, then that's something that can be arranged. If you're curious to see this type of configuration, how much the FX8320E is bottlenecking the 980 Ti, then that's maybe something we could look at doing and compare it to another processor like my i5 6600K. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below if that's something you guys would like to see, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ta-ra. And don't forget, all of the parts in this build are going to be listed down in the description below over to Amazon, which does go to help support my channel.